What did Cain and Abel have to fight over that would actually result in murder? Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 5 of the Torah portion, Bereshit. Let's go to chapter number 4. And here we read that two brothers, Cain and Havel, or more commonly known as Abel, it says, "And it came to be in the course of time that Cain brought an offering of the fruit of the ground to Yahweh. And Havel also brought the firstborn of his flock and of their fat. And Yahweh looked to Havel and to his offering, but he did not look to Cain and to his offering. And Cain was very wroth, and his face fell." They fell into a dispute over this. It says that Cain rose up and he slew his brother. Exactly what was it that they were arguing over? Why would Cain feel that the solution would be to end his brother's life? No one had ever been murdered before. No one had ever been buried before. Not that we understand or read about. So what was happening here? My opinion is that they were debating over the family role of priesthood. There is an understanding of the order of the Melchizedek priesthood, that it is the priesthood of the firstborn, that there is a role of responsibility for the eldest son to be a caregiver, a nurturer, an intercessor, a spiritual keeper and advisor for the family. It has been misconstrued to some degree, and that it is, as it is debated or illustrated is a better word, in the book of Hebrews as compared to the Levitical priesthood, that the Melchizedek priesthood does away with the Levitical. Scripturally, that's not correct. The Levitical has been set in order. It will always be functioning on the earth wherever there is a deposit or a manifestation of the Ruach HaKodesh's presence, the Shekinah of Yah, his manifested light, his outpouring. There is the role of the Levite to guard and to protect that. Just as they guarded and protected the structure of the Mishkan in the wilderness, and then the temple in Israel, in Jerusalem. In the Messianic era, there will be Levitical priests providing guard and keeping over the house of the Most High. That is always going to be their role. When Hebrews talks about the Melchizedek priesthood, it's talking about the priesthood of the firstborn, Yeshua being the firstborn, and he presides over the heavenly temple, altar. Whatever has been created and designed or given as a design to be built, such as what Moshe constructed, is a copy of that which is in the heavens. At the heavenly altar, Yeshua does not present the blood of an animal, but rather his own blood. And by the way, as heaven is timeless, that blood is still wet on the altar. And it still speaks the life and the atonement, the finished and completed work of Yeshua in our behalf. So prior to the Levitical being given, the Melchizedek was that which was known and understood. That is, that the firstborn had a role of responsibility. However, when it came to presenting the first fruits offering, the Habikurim, pertaining to this priesthood, Havel did what was qualified, what was correct, that is to bring a blood offering, and he did so from the firstling and the fat of his herd. Cain brought the fruit of the ground. It doesn't say that it was his first fruits. It doesn't say that it was specifically set aside for this purpose. It seems to indicate, at least to initial readings, that Cain basically just reached out, took some fruit and brought it and said that ought to be good enough. And Yah did not respect that offering. but he did respect the offering of his brother Havel. Jealousy. It comes down to sibling rivalry and jealousy. And the dispute became contested enough that Cain killed his competition. This is a pattern that we see carried out in other generations. We see that Ishmael desired then to mock and ridicule Yitzhak out of sibling rivalry, out of position, who holds the preeminence, he who was firstborn of the flesh or he who is firstborn of the spirit. Yah made it very specific and clear to Abraham, in Yitzhak shall your name be called. I will bless Ishmael, but he is not to be your heir. The rivalry between Ishmael and Yitzhak or Isaac continues to this day. Then we also see that Esau and Yaakov, they are contesting. Yaakov wants the position of firstborn. He wants the primary blessing here. Esau disdains it, treats it with contempt, and sees it as a bargaining chip. Esau is warring against Yaakov to this day. Then we see the brothers are fighting against Joseph. What is it that they're upset about? Joseph has been given the coat that is multicolored, signifying that as the firstborn of the primary bride, Rachel, Yaakov has chosen Joseph to be his heir apparent, to receive the double portion, to operate in the firstborn status, that is, to have spiritual oversight over his family. Out of jealousy, out of disdain for Joseph, they treat him with contempt, conspire to kill him, sell him off. Shaul and David, which one is going to be the leadership of the people? And then we have the rulers of the religious system that developed in the First Temple era, or the Second Temple era, and Yeshua. Yeshua is the Melchizedek priest. He is the firstborn. He is the one who provides spiritual guard and keeping. What's interesting is that when Yah confronts Cain about Havel, he says, am I my brother's keeper? The word keeper here, shamar, it's where we get the word shomer, as in shomer Torah, that is, that we guard and keep the commands, the Torah of Yahweh. Shamar, that is, that we are to protect, to keep watch, to keep safe, and to preserve, to observe or attend to give honor to beware, that is, to look out for, to be a watchman over. Cain says, am I supposed to do these things? Well, wait a minute. If you're wanting to hold title to priest of the family, but you do not want to be responsible for the family, keeping, guarding, preserving, looking out after, watching for, being a watchman over, then exactly what is it that you're wanting? Title, prestige, acceptance, becoming notable. This is indicating to me the role of the false shepherds in Jeremiah 23, that they fleeced the sheep for themselves, that they used their flocks for their own benefit. Yah says, I'm going to remove them, Cain. You're going to be cast out. But I will raise up shepherds who are after my own heart. What is it that we're after? What is it that we're disputing over? Don't let petty jealousies and envies, spiteful hearts, cross words cause you to miss out and have your offering rejected. Be your brother's keeper. Care for one another. Shabbat Shalom. May you find His presence real. Until next week, shalom.